Hello everyone, good morning or good afternoon. This is Sage, live from the Kalkine studios, and you are watching the early trades. Let us cast an eye over how the market charter is panning out today. The Australian share market extended gains for the second day, mirroring a strong finish by US shares on Wall Street, and the benchmark ASX 200 is trading higher by 16.50 points or 0.24% at 7,036.10, crossing above its 50-day moving average. On Thursday, the benchmark ASX 200 ended 1.3% higher at 7,019.6, its best session since the 10th of May. And the market witnessed broad-based buying, with 9 of 11 sectors trading in the green, barring energy and materials. Information technology is the best performing sector, gaining 2.84% today and 7.29% over the past 5 sessions. The technology shares led the rally on the ASX after their US peers stormed higher overnight. And the tech stocks such as EML Payments Limited, Afterpay, Xero are among the top 5 gainers on the ASX. The Dow Jones climbed 0.55%, the S&P 500 rose 1.1%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq surged 1.8% higher on Thursday. The Nasdaq rose to a 2-week high, with gains in Apple, Microsoft and Tesla supporting the advance. And tech stocks rose the most in the S&P 500 as all the major industry groups moved higher. The gold stocks are trading in the red amid falls in yellow metal price, and index heavyweights Northern Star Resources Limited and Newcrest Mining Limited edge lower in opening trade so far. The gold price has dropped after the US dollar strengthened, with the spot gold price falling 0.2% to US $1,877.60 an ounce. The energy stocks also witnessed selling pressure, with index heavyweights Beach Energy, Woodside Petroleum Limited falling nearly 1.5% each in the early trade so far. The crude oil prices fell again after the reports that sanctions on Iran could be raised and supply could return soon, while the WTI crude oil price was down 2.1% to US $62.05 a barrel. The Brent crude oil price dipped 2.6% to US $64.96 a barrel. And let us look at the top performing stocks in the ASX 200, providing the gains to the overall index. Beginning with the top performing stocks on ASX are Buy Now Pay Later or BNPL companies, EML Payments Limited and Afterpay. Payments company EML Payments is the top gainer on ASX on Friday, rising nearly 7% in the opening trade. On Thursday, the EML stock price closed 3.98% higher at $2.91 Australian after falling nearly 45% in the previous session, amid reports that the Central Bank of Ireland or CBI may take actions to restrict its Irish subsidiary. And PFS Card Services, PCSIL notably, contributes 27% to the group's global revenue. The CBI's concerns relate to PCSIL's anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism financing, risk and control frameworks and governance. And the BNPL leader Afterpay shares traded higher by 6.5% in the early trade on Friday, extending the rally for the second session. On Thursday, the tech share closed 7.66% higher at $93.10 Australian after brokerage firm Macquarie upgraded the stock to outperform and retained a $120 Australian target price. As per the agency, the company is well positioned in the US BNPL space due to its large two-sided network of merchants and users. In a separate development, Afterpay is reportedly planning to foray into the small business lending space, and according to the report, AP Ventures may purchase a services provider for small to medium-sized business merchants for nearly 45 million Australian dollars. The report of expansion into the SME lending sector also boosted the BNPL giant's stock movement. Acumentis Group Limited has said in an exchange filing that it has acquired the remaining 57.8% of its Western Australian associated Acumentis WA Holdings Pty Ltd. The acquisition takes ahead the Acumentis' strategy to improve the client experience for valuation and property advisory services. The total acquisition price is between 2.6 million Australian dollars and 3.9 million Australian dollars. Let's now focus on shares, which are in the news today. The share price of Kogan.com Limited is trading lower by 13% to $8.83 Australian after the company said it is facing short-term supply chain inefficiencies and inventory planning challenges due to market dislocations in wake of COVID-19. And as a result, the company expects underlying operating performance to be challenged in the near term, while its longer-term fundamentals remain very attractive. And the company expects adjusted EBITDA for the financial year 21 to be in the range of 58 million Australian dollars to 63 million Australian dollars. Pursuit Minerals Limited, one of the most traded stock in the wee hours of Friday, shared that it has received results for the first 238 hand auger soil samples over the Phil's Hill PGE NICU or nickel copper prospect at its Warrior project, and the project has direct access to major highway, rail, power and port infrastructure in Western Australia. The share price of the stock spurted 29.5% to 0.079 Australian dollars. Airtasker Limited shared it has acquired local services marketplace Zali to fast-track expansion in the US, and Zali has been acquired fully for 3.4 million Australian dollars. Zali will add 597,000 customers and 900 plus verified service providers from the US to Airtasker's network. ART shares traded flat at $1.08 Australian. Next, let's move over to the cryptocurrency market, which actually moved higher after Wednesday's mayhem. The cryptocurrency markets rebounded on Thursday after massive sell-offs in the previous session, but continue to show signs of bearishness, and prices of top crypto coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano and Dogecoin were flashing in green, and Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market capitalisation, was currently trading around $41,203.26, up 9.44% over the previous 24 hours. And during the day's trade, Bitcoin climbed from a low of $35,709 to a high of $42,441 and 18% gain. And the price of the popular digital currency rebounded after it fell nearly 30% at one point on Wednesday, after the China Banking Association warned member banks of the risks associated with digital currencies. And Ether, the second largest cryptocurrency by market capitalisation, was trading around 2,833, rising 16.28% in the last 24 hours. And the asset moved wildly in the past 24 hours, going from a low of $2,216 to a high of $2,992, a 36% jump, according to CoinDesk data. And moving on, let's look at some major economic events which may impact the market performance. The Australian Bureau of Statistics, ABS, will release April's retail sales number later today. In March 2021, retail sales rose 1.4% as compared to February. The Commonwealth Bank of Australia and the Market Economics will also release PMI data for manufacturing, services and composite PMI data for May, and these indicators capture an overview of economic situations in the Australian industrial sector. Any reading above 50 signals expansion, while a reading under 50 shows contraction. And meanwhile, the Australian Bureau of Statistics on Wednesday released Wage Price Index for March quarter, which grew at a decent rate in the first 3 months of the year. And the Wage Price Index rose 0.6% in the March quarter 2021, with the annual growth rate at 1.5%. And the RBA, in its policy meeting on May the 4th, had maintained that the cash rate wouldn't rise until inflation was sustaining between 2 to 3%. To meet the RBA's inflation target, wage growth needs to be rising above 3%. On the global front, Japan, Eurozone, UK and the US are scheduled to release their May PMI data today, and the other major global releases include Japan's April CPI, Eurozone's May's consumer confidence and UK's April retail sales, and May's consumer sentiment and US's April existing home sales data. And now let's move on to a special report on the 3 exciting ASX listed cannabis stocks to amp up your portfolio. But before we do that, let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
At Kalkine TV, we'll take you to the heart of the Australian equity market. We'll bring you breakthrough stories that highlight volatility, as well as tailwinds building across the length and breadth of markets. Whether space travel will gain momentum, while economies may gradually open amid vaccine rollouts, our experts will share their timely inputs. So join us on this exciting journey of live streaming, financial and stock market news. Kalkine TV.
Thanks for joining us at Kalkine TV. So, to keep you updated on the cannabis industry in Australia, experts think that the Australian cannabis industry, including cannabidiol, CBD, industrial, medicinal and recreational, has significantly expanded in the last few years and becoming a multi-million-dollar market. The number of available cannabis products has increased considerably in the past 12 months, which is laying pressure on the prices of products. And meanwhile, as the industry matures, the competition is also growing. In the Australian cannabis sector, only a handful of players are well positioned to grab the attention of market participants with their appealing product range. And some of the ASX listed cannabis companies include ECS Botanics Holdings Limited, MedLab Clinical Limited and Althea Group Holdings Limited. In this special report, we will discuss 3 ASX listed cannabis players, BOT, IHL and MXC. Firstly, the stock that we're going to take a look at is medicinal cannabis player Botanics Pharmaceuticals Limited, which is engaged in developing pharmaceutical products supported by well-controlled randomised clinical trials. On the 17th of May 2021, Botanix updated the market with encouraging findings from a small pilot study of BTX 1204A in canines with atopic dermatitis. The BTX 1204A pilot study data demonstrated that a new higher dose of synthetic cannabidiol, or CBD, showed encouraging results that support further exploration and investigation of the atopic dermatitis indication. On the 21st of May 2021, Acumentis Pharmaceuticals Limited shares were trading at 0.076 Australian dollars, up by 2.702%, and that was current this morning at 10:54 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And moving on to the next cannabis stock that we are focusing on. Pharmaceutical development firm Acumentis Healthcare Limited develops psychedelic medicines, therapies and medicinal cannabis pharmaceutical products. The company is also conducting a trial to investigate IHL-42X in adults diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA. On the 11th of May 2021, the company disclosed that it has entered into a partnership with the University of Western Australia, or UWA, Centre for Sleep Science to upgrade the IHL-42X clinical trial to a multi-site study. And furthermore, IHL stated that the IHL-42X trial is now considered a multi-site trial with additional medical and scientific staff contributing to the conduct of the study. Acumentis stated that the partnership with UWA also positions the company in good stead for the upcoming steps in the IHL-42X development program. And on the 21st of May 2021, Acumentis Healthcare Limited shares were trading at 0.265 Australian dollars, in line with the previous close, current at 10:54 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And the ASX and LSE listed cannabis player Mgc Pharmaceuticals Limited is next. They have developed and provided affordable, standardised phytocannabinoid derived medicines to patients globally. And besides, the company is also engaged in developing the treatment for COVID-19. On the 18th of May 2021, Mgc Pharma disclosed the submission of a patent application for Kymtra ATM to SIPO, or the Slovenian Intellectual Property Office. The company anticipates that the patent will be granted within the next 12 months. And the patent application submission is a significant next step in bringing Kymtra ATM to market in various jurisdictions. With this initial patent application, Mgc Pharma has priority to file subsequent patent applications in additional jurisdictions along with other IP organisations, including the EU and WIPO. Furthermore, Mgc Pharma continues to advance towards Phase 3 clinical trial initiation of Kymtra ATM to demonstrate the full efficacy as well as the pharmacokinetic profile in different variants of the novel coronavirus. And on the 21st of May 2021, Mgc Pharmaceuticals Limited shares were trading at 0.052 Australian dollars, up 5%, current at Australian Eastern Standard Time, 10:54 a.m. Thank you so much for joining us on that special report. That is all for now, but do stay tuned with Kalkine TV for more live market updates, and we will be back with more news on the markets, economies and diverse themes and sectors. Sage signing off for now.